Hey everybody, it's Anthony. I want to talk about misogyny. I know it's not really a tech topic, but trust me, it is. A couple of weeks ago, I was at a Linux conference, and it's a well-known Linux conference. It's a fairly big Linux conference, and there were quite a few women in attendance. Some were presenting, some were just attending, and I got a chance to talk to a couple of them. And invariably I heard story after story of, I'm really enjoying the conference, I just wish the guys here would stop treating me like I was a piece of meat. I feel like when I walk into a room, no matter how good of an engineer I am, or how good of a system administrator, or how good of a programmer I am, they only see a pair of breasts and a pretty smile. And I thought, the Linux community really isn't known for its social graces. It's not known for not being awkward. So this may just be a problem that's confined to the Linux space, or maybe even this particular conference, this particular community. So when I got home, I did a bit of research on sexual harassment in tech, and I found story after story after story from across the board, from meetups, from tech conferences, from user groups, from inside companies, of women who were sexually harassed, and I mean viciously sexually harassed, just because they were female. There was a recent video from PyCon that I saw, a big Python conference, of a transgender woman who actually said that when they were first transitioned, when they became a woman, they were afraid to go to the conferences because they didn't know how they'd be treated. And I think that's appalling. I think that's something that's a black mark in our community. Women should never be afraid to be part of our communities. Women should never have to wonder about how they're going to be treated. The only thing that should matter in the tech world, and this is something that, we've always kind of prided ourselves on. The only thing that should matter in the tech world is what you can do, the code you write, the systems you build, the engineering you do. That should be the only thing that matters. It shouldn't matter that you have a nice pair of boobs, a pretty smile, blonde hair, long legs, whatever. That shouldn't matter. And I see a lot of women blogging about this. I see a lot of diversity experts blogging about this and tweeting about it, and it's a huge problem. And every time that I hear a story like that, I have to say, we need to get involved. And by we, I don't necessarily mean just the community itself. I mean specifically the men of the community. Now, I know, don't get upset, because I'm not saying the little women need our help. But in this case, they kind of do, and let me explain why. When you walk up and one of your fellow attendees to a conference pokes you in the ribs and you go, hey man, look at the boobs on that girl, I'd fuck that, wouldn't you? And you laugh nervously, even if you don't agree, you laugh nervously, you are tacitly agreeing with that behavior. You are giving that person permission to engage in that behavior. And, I don't think most guys at these conferences are misogynist. I don't think most guys at these conferences agree with the bigots out there, but they're uncomfortable because sometimes the person making that comment is a name. It's a celebrity in our community, and God knows we don't want to call out the celebrities and get them pissed off. But but this kind of behavior isn't going to stop until we begin calling people out. And I don't just mean calling people out. I mean calling them out, and if we need to be separating them from the community, doing that. And so I'm going to challenge you the next time somebody, whether it be a big name in the community or just the dark next door, pokes you in the ribs or makes some inappropriate comment about a woman, or whether you happen to walk up to a conversation that's inappropriate about a woman or women in conferences, I challenge you to challenge that. Don't just stand there and take it or laugh nervously because it makes you uncomfortable. It's time that we start standing up and going, dude, that isn't cool. You can't do that. Because, we complain endlessly in the tech community, particularly in the computer, software community, about how do we bring more women in? How do we get more women interested in tech and programming? And yet, when they do get interested in tech and programming, we don't really care. We don't care that they've just written a great new patch to the Linux kernel, or that they've developed some cool new Connect hack for the Microsoft Connect that revolutionizes the way something's done. What we care about is we might be able to sleep with her. And it's not until the men of this community start rejecting community members who engage in that behavior that it's going to change. We can change it. It's going to take more than just the women of the community bitching about it. It's going to take men bitching about it. It's going to take men screaming and pitching a fit and not accepting the behavior before it's going to stop. So I challenge you to do that. I challenge you, when you hear that kind of talk, I don't care where it is, call it out. Don't stand by and tacitly give your permission by your passivity. Don't stand by and let them think it's okay. Call them out. Let them know it's not okay. And if need be, disconnect them from the community. Because no name, no matter how big, is worth sacrificing your sisters who may have something amazing to contribute. Because if we keep sacrificing them, pretty soon, nobody's going to want to get involved. And then where will we be, really? So, that's it. My little rant. Sorry it was a little incoherent, but it was just something that I'm shooting off the cuff with, because I watched the video earlier, plus my conference experience. But what do you think? Do you think we have a problem with misogyny in the tech community? How can we handle it? What do you do to combat misogyny? What do you do to combat that kind of behavior? Let me know. Thanks.